I am a college, no, I was about to say college dropout. I'm a high school dropout. What is up everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be exactly what you clicked on. You see the title of this video, you know what it's about, so why am I still talking? Basically, I don't know where to start. I didn't like officially drop out. I kind of just like stopped showing up. Okay, so I have moved my entire life. I have gone to new schools. I have done everything like you can imagine. I was born in LA, and when I say that, most people, like, I live in LA right now, most people are like, oh, okay, like you've been here your whole life. Like they just assume, like they usually don't even ask. But some people do, and then I say, no, I left when I was 2. So I was born here, and then I left when I was 2, and then I moved to Georgia for 4 years, and then I moved to Tennessee for 2 years, and then I moved to Pennsylvania for 1 year, and then I moved back out to California. And now I've been here for 10 years, since I was 9. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but just thought you should know some backstory. So I've been moving my whole life, and then my friends would ask me, like, what does your dad do? What does your family do? Why do you move so much? And I'd say, oh, well, my dad, like, he's in the Middle East right now. And then a lot of kids would be like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and they'd think like he like is like fighting a war or something, and I'm like, no, like he makes movies over there, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we're not sorry for you, but yeah. Probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 schools, something like that. Most kids should just go to like 3, like elementary, middle school, high school, right? So it was probably in middle school. Okay, so I did 7th grade and 8th grade, and then in 7th grade, I believe is when, no, 8th grade was when there was this thing called Opportunities for Learning, OFL. I'm not sure if they still have it in some places, but it's basically like a charter school. You're able to like not actually go to school. Usually the OFL was for kids who were like behind in school, or like either just like didn't want to go, like me and my friend. It was me and my friend. We unenrolled from our middle school the same day. Our mom supported it and everything, because like we were doing the same thing. So we were like, okay, we won't be alone, like we'll still have a social life. Which we didn't, because we were basically like homeschooled. So we would do like packets and stuff. We would like turn these packets in, and each packet would be like a credit. And so, I mean, basically we were able to get through school at our own pace. So we could like, we would like stay up all night and do the packets, and honestly it was a lot of fun because it like took the traditional form of learning out of the school. And like I said, mostly it was like stars and stuff that were doing this, but there were a lot of like, there were like kids who were like more like smarter, more ahead of their own like just more ahead, more advanced. And then there was also kids who were like behind that were doing this. Anyways, you're probably like, what does this have to do with anything? So yeah, basically we did that like for 8th grade, and then I remember, I think we just did that for 8th grade, and I was with my best friend. It was so fun. Honestly, I do recommend that to someone who's looking for like an alternative. Check out OFL, Opportunities for Learning. Like that could be like a nice way of like dropping out without dropping out. Like you could still get your like high school diploma, which is what I didn't do. I am a college, no, I was about to say college dropout. I'm a high school dropout. And so yeah, basically I went back for freshman year. I'm just giving you like the whole story. So yeah, I went back for freshman year because I was like, oh, like high school, like this has to be better. Like, so I remember, like, I even remember what I wore on my first day of freshman year, and I was just so unhappy in school. Like so many kids are like, this is a prison, it's not education. They're not teaching you, like they're not giving you intelligence, they're teaching you how to memorize things. That's not intelligence. Like anyone can go memorize things. So it's not really testing your level of intelligence, it's testing your level of memorization, how well you can memorize things and repeat it back. It's not actually intelligence, which is why so many kids fail at school. Like I remember seeing that quote that was like, don't judge a fish on its ability to climb a tree, because that's not gonna work ever. So yeah, I was in high school in freshman year, and I did all of freshman year, and it was fun. It sucks. Like I remember being like, at one point, like I remember just trying to fit into so many conversations that never felt right. Like I would go like stand by like some girls who I kind of knew, you know, and I would just like stand there and try to listen to the conversation and, you know, chime in and like try to have a conversation with these girls. But like they just had no interest. And like when we were standing kind of in a circle, like they would like stand in front of me and like kind of just like be like, no, like we don't want you here. Like just like kind of like, you know, like using their bodies to push me out of the circle. And at that point I was just like, yo, well, f this. Why am I trying to fit in with people I don't even give a fuck about? Just immaturity, because no, they don't have anything else better to do, so they just talk shit about each other. Like that's it, that's high school. Like, and I just wasn't into that. I always had this like older mindset of just like, I just want to like sit back and like stare at a lake and read a book. Like I wanted to just like enjoy life and not talk shit and not just like hook up with guys and get f***ed up every weekend, like, and do all these drugs that they were taking. Like I didn't want to do that. And so I just like remember just sitting down at this lunch table and just being like, you know what, like I accept it. I accept that I'm that kid out of that movie scene right now sitting by themselves at lunch. So I was that. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna sit the f down and I'm gonna scroll on my phone, or I'm gonna do some homework. Like I don't care about being that nerd. Like I was literally that nerd, like sitting alone at the lunch table, to where this girl who I've never seen before comes up to me and says, hi, what's your name? And is like trying to be nice. So like I entertained it for a bit, and she's like, did you just move here? Did you just come to this school? I'm like, I'm a sophomore. Off. Like I didn't say that, but I wanted to. I was like, I've gone to this school for 2 years, like, and you don't know me? Like awesome. Like I know the school's big, but it was just like an insult. Like, so I was just like, yeah, okay, she just came to talk to me because she felt bad. Like, so it was just funny. I literally felt like I was in a movie. So now we get to midway sophomore year, okay, and I am just not having fun at all. Like my family life is absolute. My brother's a piece of, my dad's a piece of shit. I don't care if you're watching this, you know what you did. And I'm sure everyone's gone through this, of like having shitty ass parents, or like shitty siblings, like siblings who tell you to kill yourself every day and literally tell you as you're walking out the door to school all the ways that they wish you to die. Like, I hope you throw up in your sleep and choke on it. I hope you get hit by a bus. Like awful shit, like bad stuff. And I kind of just became numb. But it was like the family drama of that, like on top of like hating school, not fitting in, like, and also just like trying to figure out like who the fuck I am, which is like, I feel like every kid has that, of like, why am I here? Who am I? Why am I thrown in this prison? Like, school is literally a prison. I remember like in middle school, my mom would drive me to school and drop me off, and before she would, I would cry and break down, like, but yeah, so I remember talking to my dad, and even though he was like a drill sergeant, questioning me, like just every single thing that would come out of my mouth, he would just automatically think is a lie, like just didn't trust me. And that's because he was doing shady shit and didn't trust himself. That's called projection, okay? And he was doing a ton of that. And so, and what's funny is like, I know that in my heart, like I know that that was what it was. Because truly after a while I started to think, wow, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad kid. Like, even though like I was doing everything right, like I wasn't like snorting heroin. I don't think you can do that anyways. But yeah, okay, so he sent me on this trip. I remember literally leaving school, like it was not any kind of break. It was not a Christmas break, a spring break, a fall break. It wasn't anything. It was in the middle of the year. Like it was in like I don't know, September, October, or no, it was November. It was like right before Christmas break. And so I remember leaving school, and then I had to talk to my office, and it was called independent study. So as I was leaving the school, they were basically like, all right, my teachers prepared homework, the homework that would be given to me over that period. So basically I went on this trip I went to Istanbul, Turkey, I went to Beirut, Lebanon, and I went to Dubai. And yes, you could say I do have a good dad for sending me on that trip. That's very amazing, and very, very grateful for that, because it really did change a lot of things for me. So I went on that trip, and I think it was for like 3 weeks or something. I really can't remember, but I remember all my teachers giving me homework before I went, and I did most of it like on the trip. But I was also like, I was in Turkey, Istanbul, and I got to shoot a Fox TV show in all Turkish. It was called CosetteDemille. That's like a French accent speaking Turkish. And it means intersection. You could probably go find it online. I was in like the first episode next to Belgian Belgian. I have a ton of videos with her. That's what kind of grew my channel when I first started on here. That whole trip made me have an epiphany of like, school is not for me. I don't need it. I learned so much when I'm just traveling and out in the world and in foreign countries, speaking other languages, like being on set for like over 24 hours surrounded by a ton of people just speaking Turkish, and like literally like feeling like, again, kind of that same feeling I had in high school of like being alone and being like, wow, I don't understand shit, but everyone was still so nice, and they were like, here's some food, like here's your fitting room, like or whatever, like it was amazing. And then in Lebanon, like meeting Lebanese family, and just that was really my first third world country, like Beirut, Lebanon, like where we had to like have a military escort, and there was like a US, or not a US, like a marshal that like picked me up at the airport, like, and at that point I was alone because my dad had left in Turkey and he went to like Paris, and then so it was just me in Lebanon. Yeah, so I really learned a lot from that trip. And yeah, so when I came back from that trip, I just had that epiphany of like, wow, like I really do need to like drop out or like do something else. And at that point I was like, wow, I don't want to go back to OFL because I don't know, I was just like, the atmosphere there was depressing, and I didn't even want to do that. So I was like, wow, can I figure out something that's even better? And so I found this online school, so you can check it out. It was called like K-12 if you're thinking about like doing online school. That is basically what I did from the middle of sophomore year up until almost the end of senior year. So I basically dropped out of high school like 2 months before I would have graduated, like maybe a month, maybe less than that, like right before I would have graduated, which I am kind of mad at myself for, like that I didn't just freaking finish it because I was so close, and like what's the point of putting in all that work at all if I was just gonna drop out. So here's honestly a tip for you. Before you do what I did, and did what I did 2.5 years. I did from the middle of sophomore year up until almost the end of senior year in online school called K-12. And if you're thinking about doing that, either just go all the way and just finish it. I was a month or less away from finishing it and getting a diploma. So honestly, do that. My friend made a good point and was like, Cosette, like, it doesn't matter what it is with anything. If you're that close to finishing, you should just finish it and get it. So when I heard that, I was like, damn, I fucked you know, because I should have just got the diploma, whatever. But I was honestly so happy to just call myself a high school dropout because I knew I was going to be successful. A couple different things. So like, of course you want your parents' support. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. If you do care about that, I don't know, just try to make them see your vision. And I know it's kind of that generation gap where parents are so programmed to think that school is something that you need, school is something that like you need, like they're just programmed as to think that. And it can be so hard because every parent has that programming of, I went to school, I did it, now it's your turn, like just that mind state, you know. But kids our age, they're waking up and they notice that, hey, okay, maybe that's not the goal. Because and these kids, they graduate, they get into a college, and then they realize, wow, this is literally the same thing just with a different name. High school, college, it's the same exact, just a different building, like that's it. And so kids are realizing that, and then they come out of these colleges with $200,000 in debt, and then they have to work to pay that off. So they are just stuck in this cycle of completely working for the system, because then they have to get a job and then work off that money. But you wouldn't even need the job to work off that money if you didn't take a loan in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, all these kids are stuck with hundreds and $1,000s of debt in student loans, and I'm just sitting over here fucking smiling because I'm not one of them. And I'm just so happy because every dollar that I do make, I can spend, and it doesn't have to go into a pile of debt. That's amazing. And just think about that. Like, if you're thinking about college, whatever, like maybe you're a nurse and you really love to heal people and you like really need that degree and that's something you need it for. Maybe you're an architect and really need to learn math and really need to get that degree. I totally understand it. We all have our visions, and sometimes in this matrix world, people need that label. They need that label. Oh, you have a degree, okay, you are automatically better, like, than that person over there with no degree, or than that person over here with no diploma. I'm holding 2 books that I have on Amazon, and I just want to show y'all that a high school dropout is successful. A high school dropout does have 2 books on Amazon. I'm just trying to figure out when this was the first one I ever published on Amazon for 11/11. Oh, this was a month before her 16th birthday. So I was 17. I was 16 because it was a month before my 17th. So in February 2017, this book was published for me, and it was a gift, and it was the most amazing gift ever. There's me on the back. You can go check it out. It's link in description. That was amazing, and this is basically a book I wrote when I was 8, and someone very special published it for me. It was a cardboard backed, bound with like string, and someone very close to me published it and put it on Amazon for my 17th birthday, which was absolutely amazing. And then when I was 17, I published my 2nd book, and this was all before dropping out of high school. So I'm really proud of myself, because like being a published author was something that I wanted to be really, really bad. So to know that I became a published author at 16 was really, really awesome. But someone did it for me, so I didn't actually feel like it was my own accomplishment. It was really amazing because I was like, well, technically I am a published author, but I didn't publish it myself. So I said, all right, let's double, not even double, like quadruple the size of the first book, and let's write another one. And this one's The Millennial's Guide to Infinity. You have seen me promote it up the wazoo. And yeah, so this was published when I was 16, and this one was published when I was 17. My book signing, my very first book signing, was March 3rd, 2018. So that was 10 days before I turned 18. So I know that's like really confusing. I'm confusing myself right now. Published my 2nd book March 2018, and then I dropped out May 2018. So I published 2 books before I dropped out. And you might be thinking, like, does that bring in money? What kind of money does it actually bring in? Not a lot, nothing crazy. The first book didn't bring in much. Like, I still am getting royalties from both of them, but and they're both still on Amazon. But so yeah, I don't know, I just want to show you guys that like I published 2 books. I don't know, like I feel braggy right now, and I kind of am, but it's kind of just like being proud of myself. Like yeah, I did do that shit. Right after it got published, yeah, it was like May or June that I dropped out in 2018. And it's been amazing. It's been a full year, right? So I dropped out like a year ago, and so I published 2 books before dropping out. And then right after dropping out, I went to go get a job, and I started working at Whole Foods, because basically, like, and that wasn't even something like my mom told me to go do. She wasn't like, you dropped out, you need a job. Like, she wasn't like that at all. She was completely 100% supportive. And I also started making videos like right around this time. So yeah, I don't know, I hope this video isn't all over the place. It feels like it really, really is. I just kind of wanted to tell my story. Yeah, so like I dropped out and I got a job, because it's like you just need to start making money. Like the whole point of the whole high school, college thing is so that you can get a job, right? They want you to have a degree so you can get a job. But hey, if you go start working at McDonald's, you're already ahead of most of the people in college, because they aren't making money, they're owing money. Doesn't that make sense? You know, it's so much for tuition, especially in America compared to Europe. Like in Paris, the Sorbonne, like tuition is 300 euros a year. In the US, try like 400,000. Like it can get really high, especially with those Ivy Leagues. And it's just a trap to just keep you in that pile of debt. Like that's what they want. They don't want you to succeed. So that's why they designed this system of failure, of oppression, to keep you in that cycle of scarcity. And for you to break out of it is something absolutely amazing. I think anyone can do it. It's just about the mindset, really. As long as you believe you can, you can. I just want this to maybe motivate some people. This is not like, I don't want parents to watch this and be like, oh my god, she's telling them to go drop out. I mean, I kind of am, a little bit. And I hope if a parent is watching this, like if you're watching this and you have a child right now, ask yourself why you want them in school so bad. Like, is there actual reason, or is it just because society says it's good? Society tells you to. For a while I was like, maybe I should just wait and make this video when I'm a millionaire, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a high school dropout and I'm a millionaire. But we're not there yet, and we kind of want to film the whole journey. So yeah, I'm telling myself, I'm giving myself like 4 years to make $1 million. That's my goal. So have a goal, you know, maybe start small. So for me, maybe I should start with like 10 grand, you know, like start small and work your way up. Have a goal every day and attain it. Having small goals and really achieving those is a great way to start achieving the bigger goals. So start small and have a plan. Maybe write up a business plan.
I don't really have a business plan.
I really recommend that everyone does start a business. I started DeMille Beauty, and that's not making me millions of dollars yet, but maybe one day it could be. I feel like I've proved my point of why dropping out is good. I became a published author, I got a job, I started making money. I really hope this YouTube thing takes off soon, because that would just be amazing, and it's really an amazing source of passive income. Passive income meaning you are making money even when you're not filming, even when you're not editing, because like right now, yes, I am filming, and I'm not getting paid for filming, but right now someone could be on my YouTube watching a video and I'm getting paid a little bit for that, so that's awesome. It's crazy. I've watched so many videos of people like my first YouTube paycheck, and they're all like, they're like 12-year-olds showing you that they're making like 5 grand off of one video, and I'm just like, damn, why am I not there yet? Like, so seriously, if you want to start a YouTube channel, start now, because I swear, like, I hope this video really helped. I seriously do. And if you haven't already, go buy the book on Amazon. It is down below. It is in the description box for $11.11, so go check that out. Please support me in my journey. It's been quite a journey, and I feel like filming this video is kind of like a checkpoint. Like, I seriously feel like I reached a checkpoint. Like, I feel like I'm in a video game, and I'm just like, wow, I made it. Know that abundance comes from within. The number value in your bank account right now does not mean that that is how much you are worth. It does not, absolutely at all. You're worth so much more than any number value. I don't know, I just think this school paradigm is so old, and it's just dying out. Like, that's why, like, a vision of mine is creating my own school, my own herb magic spell school, like kind of Hogwarts kind of thing, and with a garden, with animals. Like, that would be amazing. That's the dream, that's the goal, and it's gonna happen. And yeah, I've been talking a lot, but I feel like so much is changing. Like, I legit have 3 more weeks in LA until I'm out of LA, and then from there we are gonna be traveling full time. And I'm really happy to say that. Full-time until the money runs out. Well, let me not speak like that. Let me catch myself. We're gonna be traveling full-time for as long as the universe allows. All right, pretty much. Because we're not a millionaire yet. All right, let me end this video. Yeah, I hope this inspires you. I'm not saying go drop out, but I'm not saying don't go drop out. Because it's different for everyone. Like I said, if you have a career that really does require that degree, go for it, you know, but just think about all that debt you're gonna be in, and think twice, you know, because the system is not set up to help us. I'll say that right now. That's why we gotta rebuild it and make a new one. All right, I love you so much. Go grab my book. Go book a reading with me. Please support me any which way. I have a Patreon now. I have a Depop. Go check that out. Okay, I love you. Bye. Oh, what the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. So it was the one.
Sur ta chevelure profonde aux acres de parfum. Sur ta chevelure profonde au fin. Mer odorante et vagabonde aux flots bleus et bruns. Mer odorante et vagabonde aux flots bleus et bruns.